This is Module 7.4-4, Part 4, and we're going to talk about the major components of a value stream map. So in order to be called a value stream map, it has specific major components. The first one is this customer block up here. There's specific data that we want to collect about the customer, so it needs to be clearly designated, and that's typically where we start. Notice the customer has the jagged edge, so it's an outside source. The next is, well, I gotta get my mouse to work here. The next is the supplier. And since it's external as well, we've got the jagged edge on it as well. Then we want material flows. So where do things come in? How do they go through our system? And where do they go out? And information flows, all the ways to communicate what should we be working on next? What do we need to do next? And finally, the timeline. So 5 major components: customer, supplier, material flows, information flows, and a timeline. The timeline needs to capture a bunch of different information. Nope. We might start understanding total lead time. Oop. The timeline needs to give us a whole picture of the total lead time. That includes the sum of the process times from each one of the process boxes, plus the sum of the waiting time or the inventory time or the non-value add time that is between those processes. Generally speaking, what happens is we'll bring material in, we will put it in the warehouse, we will release that material to a workstation. Um, the work will be done and then it'll go back to the warehouse. So in most mass manufacturing operations, there's a lot of material throughout this system. Um, Here we want to make sure we capture the times for each one of those. And you see that in these, the longest process we have takes only 87 seconds. And yet the material will be sitting for up to 52.1 days, as you can see that. So we want to make sure we capture the total lead time. The bottom of this box over in the corner here, that is going to be our total value added time. Next up, we'll talk about scoping and decomposition. Hopefully I can edit some of this